Welcome back, scumbags. It's been a while with a few new things that have been added in the game, as you might have noticed in the update. There's been a bit of confusion with missions. People seem to not really get it, both on the player side and the server owner side. I'm gonna go into the difference and go over some of the basic settings that I've been able to try to figure out in uh, in the hopes of helping people actually set things up properly. So, without any further ado, well, we'll go into everything in a little bit more detail when we're at the trader, and I'll give you some background information on how I have things set up currently and why, and then we'll go through things step by step. So, we'll make our way to the trader.
Welcome,
Never mind the
welcome.
mess.
Feel free to browse around.
You want to shut up, mate? So, settings. I'm in single player right now because I don't have access to a server where I can actually change the settings. I have done some testing on a server and I'm hopefully going to be able to include it in this video. If not, then there's going to be an extra video covering that. So the server settings that I have here and why. Quests. You've got a number of different timers that you can set, and we need to go over each one, how it's different, and how you can use it to your advantage to better help the players. The global cycle duration is, as far as we can tell, it ticks down, it should tick down globally, IRL time. At the moment, it seems either we're misinterpreting what the devs wanted or it's a bug. At the moment, it seems this only ticks down when you're on the server. Yeah, results may vary. You may be seeing different results on different servers. The problem with the mission system, the way it stands at the moment, is it's so full of bugs we can't tell what's supposed to be and what's a bug. But bottom line is, from what we can tell, this global cycle duration ticks down while you're on the server, and that will reset the quests that you can do per cycle. So you have at the moment in vanilla, this is set to 24 hours. Not 100% what these were on vanilla. I believe it's something like 3 hours and 2 hours and 1 hour or something like that. Yeah, someone will correct me in the comments. This is 24 hours in vanilla. I set this for 10 minutes for testing, and you can play around with this as you see fit to help improve things on your server. When this ticks down to 0, if you've done any quests in a cycle, this will go back to 0. So as per vanilla, as per recording this video in vanilla, you get to do 3, count them, 3 quests per cycle. And when you've done that, then you have to wait for that global timer to reset. Yeah, this is where a lot of people are being confused. This is controlled by global. That's got nothing to do, and we have to go all the way back again. It's got nothing to do with the trader refill countdown, yeah, which we'll go into in a moment. This is what's confusing people. That number of quests that you can do per cycle is controlled by this and this alone. I've set the number of the trades I can do per cycle to 60, which is currently the maximum. Yeah, I try and set it to, and now it's letting me to set it to 61. I wasn't able to set it any higher than 60 when I started testing it. 70, 65, 66. Okay, it seems this has changed. So the max we can set it to now is 64 for some reason. Okay, whatever. Yeah, the maximum quests you can do per cycle you can change here. Yeah, that's how many quests you can do before you're put on cooldown and you have to wait for this global cycle to get to 0. Yeah, that's the trader refill countdown is how frequently the quests in the trader's book refreshes. Yeah, and I don't mean fully refresh. Yeah, I mean when it will give you a new quest, which again we'll get into in just a moment. So let's say within a 10-minute period, if we set this to something a little lower, just for explanation's sake, the trader's book has 6 quests in it as standard. When you go there, you're going to see 6 quests. I'm going to set that to 7, and you'll see why shortly. When you've done in any given cycle, you can do 3 per vanilla, and then at the end of the cycle, that resets to 0. So you'll never be able to completely clear the book in any given cycle where settings are vanilla, because there are 6 quests and you can do a maximum of 3 of those before the book completely refreshes. This trader refill countdown is basically useless to you if you have it set on vanilla. Yeah? The trader refill cooldown will only be applicable if you've got the max number of quests per cycle per trader set to more than 6. Yeah, which I'll demonstrate now. We go to the quest book.
Could you help me with these?
And we've got 1 portable electric stove, 2 duct tape, 3 backpack, 4 banjo, 5 paint can, 6 rebar cutter. And I'm pressing right and I'm not getting anything else. There's 6 quests per cycle. Now I set it to 7, remember? Now if we do all of these quickly, find portable electric stove, we'll take them on.
It's disappointing. Hope you change your mind.
Oh, and it wouldn't let me take the quest. That's why I stepped out of the book and back in again. That's another thing to note. If you've got your head in the book while one of the counters comes to 0, you won't be able to take the quest because it's already refreshed in the background. So you need to leave the book and come back to it again. See, now we've come back to it and it's got different quests straight away. Find bedroll. Find portable refrigerator. Cement bags, guitar, drill, and duct tape. And then that was 6. There's no more. Anyway, so let's do this quickly before it refreshes on us again. Yeah, so we need a bedroll.
Disappointing. Hope you change your mind.
If I could actually do it properly. Yeah, we'll take them and then we'll spawn them in.
Help me with these?
So we've got 1. And he won't take items from you that you have equipped. That's another thing. If you're at the armorer and he has a quest for an M249 and you have an M249 on you, he won't take it. For weapons, for example, it has to be an unloaded weapon, which includes a round chambered. So you need, if you want to hand in the weapon that you have on your back and it happens to have a magazine in it, you have to take the magazine out and even unload the round from the chamber. But that's another thing. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but that's a little bit of tidbit of information. Yeah, we have to take this in our hands for him to take it from us, either in our hands or in our inventory. If it's equipped in any way that you're using it, air quotes, you're using it, then he won't take it from you.
Could you help me with these?
Portable refrigerator. We happen to have one of those spawned in, so we'll just grab that. Let's take.
Could you help me with these?
Cement bags. He's going to want 3 of these. The only way we're going to be able to do that is if we have space. I tried to prepare in some way, but there's only so much preparing you can do because of the randomness of the quests. I didn't want to have an entire sprawl of items here in front of us,
Thank you
littering
very
the
much.
place.
Let me give you something for your troubles.
You just have to bear with me as we spawn in the items to complete what we want.
Thank you very much. Let me give you something for your troubles. Thank you very much. Let me give you something for your troubles.
Duct tape. Favorites.
Thank you very much. Let me give you something for your troubles.
Now this is something you're only going to see if in your server settings, be it in single player or on a server, you have in the quests the max the max quests per cycle per trader set to more than 6. We've done 6 quests and we're still within one of the refresh timers. Then you see this. No quests for now, check again later. And it's this that's controlled by the trader refresh, which in our case I set to 2 minutes. Yeah? Quest trader refill countdown, 2 minutes. And what's important to add to this as well is this is a way that you can control how many quests you want the people to be able to do within any given period of time. One, we've done that by setting this to 7. So I've done 6 already. At the end of the 2-minute cooldown, he's going to give me 1 more trade, and that's not because that's set to 7. That's simply because of the way that this trader refill cooldown works. Every 2 minutes, you'll see 1 new quest pop up in the book, and the same thing works for the phone, and the same thing works for the notice board. So if within the global 10 minutes, you manage to, by some miracle, you manage to do all of the quests from the notice board, then in 2 minutes, that 1 more will show up on the notice board. And the same thing with the phone. If you've done all of the quests from the phone within the global cycle, and you have traders that aren't on cooldown, then every 2 minutes you'll get a refresh on the phone. It doesn't give you new quests every 2 minutes on the phone. That seems to be relatively random. So within the global cycle, it's RNG whether it's going to actually give you a quest on the phone or not, depending on how many are active or inactive per trader. That's just towards the phone. But getting back to what we're doing right here in this trader, I'm still within the 10-minute cycle, so now I have to wait 2 minutes, and like I said, he's going to give us 1 more quest, which I'll speed this up in the edit, but now we're going to wait the 2 minutes. Now you see, it says open quest book.
Could you help me with these?
And I'm pressing left and right to scroll through it, and there's only 1. So at the end of the 2 minutes, we received 1 extra quest. That's the way that system works. When people see the trader refresh timer, it's not completely clear to people what that is controlling. Yeah, they're conflating it with the global cycle timer. The only time the trader timer is going to do anything, like I said, is if you've got the number of trades that you can do per cycle is more than 6. Because it's the only time you're ever going to empty the book within a cycle. Yeah, if you've got it set to the vanilla 3, you get to do the 3, and the other 3 are just going to sit there. And at the end of the global cycle, the entire book is going to refresh.
That's disappointing.
It is,
Hope you
isn't it?
change your mind.
It is disappointing. Yeah, so people are clear, yeah, for the cheap seats. Global cycle completely refreshes the book. Well, it completely refreshes everything. It refreshes the book, it refreshes the phone, and it refreshes the notice board. So even if you've done all of them, if you have this set to more than 6, if you've done all of them, then at the end of this cycle, it'll completely refresh. The book will have 6 in it again, the board will have 6 in it again, and then you'll get a couple on your phone. If you have this set to more than 6 and you've completely emptied it, then you can control how frequently you get new ones, and you only get them one at a time with these timers. Yeah? So for argument's sake, if this is set to 3 hours, and you set this to, I don't know, let's say 12, so you could feasibly empty the book twice. And then you have the trader refill countdown set to, well, let's see, let's actually set it to 3 hours. If you have that set to 3 hours, and then you have this set to 15 minutes, yeah, then what's going to happen is we have the opportunity to do 12 each trader, so we can empty the book twice. Let's say you're a prepared individual. You have enough of all different kinds of junk, and you actually clear the entire book for the first time. Yeah, you do all 6. Then in 15 minutes, you're going to get one more. And let's say you do that as well. Then you have to then you have to wait 15 minutes again to get another one, and so on. Yeah, so if you do the math, the global cycle will refresh in 3 hours, and you get one new one every 15 minutes. Yeah, then technically, the player is still going to have to wait. Yeah, because you've done the first 6 that you received from the book, and you can do a maximum of 12, which is the book again in its entirety, but you're going to have to wait in between each one. So we're looking at 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and 15, an hour and a half. Yeah? So you're going to have to wait. It's going to take you approximately, well, not approximately, exactly an hour and a half to do the other 6 to reach your level within the cycle. And then you're going to be stuck waiting the remaining, like even if you're doing it damn near instantly. If you've got all of the items on you and you're an absolute fucking Chad, yeah, and you're able to do all 12 within the total of an hour and a half, then you've got another hour and a half to wait until the 3 hours is up. And then when that 3 hours is up, then the book will completely refresh, and you'll have one, you'll see in your journal, this will be, it hasn't changed because we haven't restarted, because this is in single player. I have to restart the game for that to change. Yeah, one, you'll see 0 of 12. Yeah, so that will go back. If you're a Chad and you manage to do all 12 of them, you'll see 12 of 12, and then you're locked out. And then the timer you see here will be the time remaining from the global cooldown. Yeah, however much that is. It could only be 10 minutes if you're lucky, and it took you that long to do it. If you're an absolute mega Chad and you did it damn near instantly, then it's going to be a little under an hour and a half that you still have to wait. Now, the issue that people were having, and this is one thing that isn't clear of whether this bug has been squashed or not, is that this global timer, not custom zones, this global timer was, in a lot of cases, if not all, being reset by the server restart. So if you had this set to anything higher or even at the same time as your server restarts, you would never see the cycle refresh. The server restarts, it starts on the locked cooldown, you never get new quests. So if you have if you're having an issue with that, to get around the problem and make it possible for your players to do quests, you need to set this lower than what your server restarts on. So let's say your server restarts every 2 hours, but you don't want people to be able to like jump straight in and do quests from the get go. Just if you're a bit of a limiting tyrant, set it. Your server resets every 2 hours. If you set it to an hour, then after the restart, they have to wait an hour before they can do any at all, and then the other timers kick in. So you can further limit. Like if you only ever want them to be able to empty the book once per cycle, then you simply set that to 6. Because regardless of this timer, more quests will physically show up, but they won't be able to do it because they'll be on the global timer. Yeah, if you don't mind, and you're down for people being able to do more if they're going to put the effort in, set that to whatever your heart desires. Yeah, which we figured out. Yeah, the max is 60, or was it? This is the 64. The maximum is 64, but that's irrelevant because you're not going to. You're never going to be able to do that many within a global cycle duration, depending on what the other things are set to, because it takes so long. But anyway, I'm just going off on a tangent. Let's say you set it to something relatively easy to do. You set that to 12. Setting the max simultaneous quest per trader to anything more than 6 is also irrelevant because the book will only give you 6. Well, actually, it's not irrelevant because the board and the phone can show other quests outside of that. Yeah, so setting this to anything more than, let's say, 12 is also a little silly because the quests you see on the phone will be independent from what you see in the book, and again, the quests that you see on the notice board will be independent from what you would see on the phone or at the book. Yeah, so in theory, you can take all 6 of the trades at the trader, and let's say you luck out, you look at your phone, and it's got the 2 more quests for the C2 general trader, then you'll be able to take those as well. So then at that point you'll be at 8 because the 6 from the book and the 2 from the phone. And let's say you get really super lucky and you go to a board, or you go to multiple boards within the range of a trader. You pick up the quests from the boards for the C2 general trader. Yeah, then you'll be able to pick up a total of 4 others from the boards to max out the number of max simultaneous quests per trader. So it's doable, and I don't think it's like setting these things higher. I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Some people look at it as a bad thing because they don't want tryhards grinding it like crazy to get ludicrous amounts of fame and money. But I've always been of the opinion, if someone's going to put the work in, then they fucking deserve it. Yeah? If this was set really high and they choose to go about putting their effort into doing this, then so be it. Why hold them back? Yeah, but other people look at this differently. However it falls within what it is that you want to allow for people to do. Yeah, be it trying to control an experience or simply to find what balance you think the game needs. That's totally your own personal preference. This is more to go over what each one of the timers does, when the book and the phone and the board and the other things are being affected, and by what. Yeah, so with this, maybe you have a little bit. I'm trying to keep it within a half an hour, and thankfully it still is for this little this little segment of tidbit. So that's the skinny. That's the lowdown of how the global cycle works, and how and when the trader phone and notice board timers will kick in and what they do. Yeah, like I said, the trader refill cooldown, the notice board, and the phone, when those time has run out. You're only ever going to see one new quest show up, and you're only ever going to see new ones if you've emptied it. So if you've done everything in the book, if you've done everything on the board, and you've done everything on the phone, yeah? The only thing that controls a complete refresh is the global cycle. So I think, if you have any questions, then put them down in the doobly-doo. I've been testing this 50 ways from Sunday. Yeah, maybe my explanation wasn't good enough. You misunderstood something. You still have a question, put it down there and I'll try and answer it. I've got so many things about this mission system kicking around in my head. I'm going to have to, I don't want this video to drag past where it's at the moment. So I'm going to go and edit this and upload it, and then anything else pertaining to the quest system with the number of items needed and the durability and the uses and all that kind of thing, I'm going to put into a little separate one. So I'm going to say goodbye and adieu, and hope you all have fun doing your missions and you understand this a little better. So until the next video, ciao. Goodbye to you as well, fat man.